Hey there everybody, it's Cosmo the Coder here, and welcome to this week's Humble Bundle Review. This week we look at Humble Bundle's Best of 2016. A collection of games that are considered, at least by Humble's point of view, the best games of 2016 that were featured in various other bundles. I'm not quite sure what the criteria is in their sort of selection process, as you may see in some of the reviews of the games, but let's not jump ahead. Let's get started at the very beginning and look straight away at the first tier, which is down here. First up, from the Humble Indie Bundle 16, we have Else Heart.Break, which is about £19 or about $25. It's basically a sort of a 3D RPG adventure game where you are able to sort of hack the reality of the game using programming skills, and you basically get to solve the puzzles that are presented to you in whatever way you kind of feel suitable. It's actually a game that I've been it's on my list of games to try. I just haven't got around to doing it yet, as it looks quite both entertaining and both quite sort of odd and interesting. Good reviews, 88%. Sorry, no, I'm reading the wrong one. 84% overall, 79% on Metacritic. One for your sort of adventure game fans, but also something more sort of out there in terms of sort of how you can sort of solve the puzzles. So certainly some things that would interest a programmer like me. Evoland 2 was in the Eye Candy bundle. To give it its full title, it's Evoland 2: A Slight Case of Space-Time Continuum Disorder, as you can see up there. It's £15 on Steam, or about $20. As you can see from the video, it's kind of a strange sort of game. It's basically an RPG adventure game, but you basically travel through time, and as you do, the gameplay and the graphics, and even the sort of the genre of the game change drastically from sort of RPG to fighting games to Bomberman games to puzzle games to 3D to 8-bit to 2-bit. You know, you literally, the video does it in extremely great justice in that it shows you every kind of almost every kind of genre this game sort of crosses into. It's crazy what this is, but it's also extremely good and extremely well received. You know, 88% recently, 90% overall. People love the fact that this game basically takes every kind of different genre, different type of graphic style, and incorporates it all into one giant game, essentially. Well worth checking out, I think. Victor Vran. What can I say? Victor Vran is basically a sort of a Diablo clone. It's an action RPG, hack and slash, whatever you want to call it. £16 on Steam, or about $20. Essentially, like I said, it's a Diablo clone, and you basically get to outfit your character with various sort of different kinds of gear, build up your character's profile and skill set, and so on and so forth, as you sort of take on various demons and all kinds of monsters and everything. In general, it is what it is. It's hack and slash, kill everything, run around the environment, fight skeletons, as you can see, using guns and swords and knives and what have you. Okay, magic spells. You know what I'm talking about. Kind of a cool game. Not bad. Pretty good for the price too. You know. Is that there? Review-wise, 83% recently, 90% overall, and 75% on Metacritic. Right then, moving on, green tier, which currently sits at about, average of $3.37, and yeah, £2.74 according to that. First up is Rust. Now, last time when I actually looked at Rust last time in the Survive This bundle, it wasn't doing so well on Steam. It's still early access, which has to be sort of questioned because it's been early access now for nearly three plus years. It's £15 on Steam, or $20. It's essentially a survival game with crafting. You basically sort of land on this island naked, and you basically have to build everything from clothes to your house, your weapons, everything. Hunt, kill, and play against other players in this sort of multiplayer sandbox. Now, the last time we looked at this, it wasn't doing so good in reviews, like I said. This was due to the fact that some changes have been made that people just didn't like. Now, the reviews have improved since then. It currently sits at 75% recently and 81% overall. But generally, people still don't like the game. They are quite upset still that a lot of players seem to be sort of hacking and cheating their way. They just go around and kill you for no apparent reason whatsoever. It's still a very good game in certain aspects, but a lot of people are complaining about it still. So it depends on your point of view how you want to sort of proceed from it, which is a shame really, because it's from the same guy who made Gary's mod. But you know, it is what it is. Shadowrun Shadowrun Hong Kong, the extended edition, is currently, as he looks at his notes, £15 on Steam, or about $20. It's basically a turn-based sort of RPG set in a sort of cyberpunk world where technology meets sort of magic. The sort of idea that if technology gets that far advanced, then it starts to appear like it's magic. I can't remember where I've heard that from, but it's being written about and stuff like that. You basically complete missions with your character and develop your character over time, utilising different techniques, technologies, and magics if you want to. And you go through this sort of gritty, hard-hitting plot involving sort of I don't remember what it was now, assassinations, police corruption, that kind of stuff. Good reviews, 80% recently, 87% overall, and 81 on Metacritic. I admit I'm not a big fan of turn-based RPGs, but I have been interested in trying out some of the Shadowrun sort of games, because they have got quite a good, quite a strong, shall we say, fan base and quite good reviews, so definitely worth looking at. The extended edition does contain some extra bits, sort of like it adds a bonus campaign, and it's got developer commentary and stuff like that, so it's definitely an interesting sort of package, shall we say. Now, Stronghold Crusader 2, which comes from the Humble. Oh dear, I'm really putting Humble and Jumbo together. The Humble Jumbo Bundle 7. Now, this is why I'm a bit confused about how Humble have sort of quantified it as sort of the best of 2016, because this game has not been, shall we say, greatly reviewed. It's actually the most expensive game in the bundle at £30, or about $50. And as you can see from the reviews, it's 54% recently and 59% overall, and the Metacritic is 65. It's basically a sort of a city building slash castle building, sort of medieval real-time strategy game where you basically build up your own sort of city and castle and have to defend it against invaders and everything else like that. The biggest kind of complaint is that it's not as good as the first game, Stronghold Crusader, and that the AI is cheating. You can do things like cutting off their entire food supply, you know, cutting off their farms and everything, and yet somehow the AI is still able to feed its troops. A lot of people don't, you know, basically there's a great deal of disdain for this kind of game, for this game itself. So sadly, it's, you know, the review wise isn't great, and plus apparently it's not great in performance wise, but you kind of have to take that with a pinch of salt depending on the person's computer and what they're doing and so on and so forth. I find that you can do a lot of performance issues can be fixed by changing either certain settings or even just eliminating certain tasks running in the background. But that's just me. So take it as you will. Finally, then, the blue tier, pay $10 and you get all of that plus Homeworld the Remastered Collection. Now, this is kind of a cool little bundle in a way, and it's kind of neat how Gearbox have done this. They kind of remastered both the first two games. I say the first two. There has been a new game out now, which is kind of a prequel to these. Homeworld is basically a real-time strategy game where it's set in space. So rather than just having to go along terrain on ground and all that, you have to deal with 3 dimensions. So it was kind of a new genre-changing real-time strategy game. But not only do you get the classic games, you get the remastered games as well. So in a sense, you get 4 games. Although technically there are still 2 games, but 2 different versions of those games. Price-wise, it's £27 on Steam at the moment, and about $35 on, $35 on Steam. Duh. Review-wise, great. 80% recently, 86% overall, and 86% on Metacritic. It's definitely one for real-time strategy fans. You get some it's quite a sort of interesting sort of take on the real-time strategy genre, and as you can see from the visuals, it does look vastly improved over the classic and originals. I can't really say much more than that, really. Bonus-wise, you do get 2 soundtracks, which is always quite nice. Else Heart.Break's soundtrack is supposed to be quite good, and so is Evo Land 2's. And you do get 10% off for new humble monthly subscribers, but beyond that, whether or not that's going to be a sort of a thing that tempts you, I can't really say. So, what do we think of this bundle? Right, well, the obvious problem with this bundle, for me, and for possibly many other people, is it's a bundle containing games that were in previous bundles. So if, like me, you bought quite a few of the previous bundles, you pretty much own all the games that are in these bundles already. Now, that's not necessarily true for everybody, because obviously I just go and I buy bundles based on whether I think they're good or not, and also they've been in other bundles and everything else like that. So in general, obviously I'm not buying this bundle because I own all the games in the bundle, but it's not a terrible bundle. The only sort of question I have is, why is Stronghold Crusader 2 in there when it wasn't that good considered? And Rust has had its problems, let's put it this way. They tried to correct some of those, but I think the damage has been done just in the sense of the community. So in general, it's not a horrible bundle by any sort of regard. I'm going to give it a bit of a fair sort of 7 out of 10, I think. Not great, pretty good. You know, better than good, not great, but sort of in between. So I think 7's are quite a nice little value. Now, obviously the reason I am able to review it is there's no extension, unlike last week's bundle, the overwhelmingly positive, I don't know why I did in that voice, bundle. So let's have a quick look at that, shall we? Let's just give it a score. There we go. So last week, the overwhelmingly positive bundle was basically a collection of games that were reviewed on Steam that were as overwhelmingly positive, sort of the high 90s. They've now sort of unlocked the last 2 games of the bundle, and price-wise you might be surprised at what they've actually given us. On top of the other games, they've given us Bit Blaster XL and Refunked. Now, Bit Blaster XL is 79 pence, or $1 on Steam. But don't let that fool you. Review-wise, it's actually quite well received, or extremely well received actually. It's 96% recently and 98% overall. It's essentially a sort of a throwback to the classic quarter-eating arcade machines arcade games, I suppose, of the 80s, where basically you're a spaceship and you fly around and shoot everything with limited ammunition and score as many points as possible. And it's that simple. It's a very casual sort of shooter. A lot of people love playing it because it's just something you just pick up and play as much as you want to. It's that simple. Refunked is, I almost want to say a walking simulator, but it's not a walking simulator in that sense. It's more a running sort of simulator. You sort of, it's a sort of a you are on the first person viewpoint, and you're basically able to do parkour, what? Oh dear. Parkour, and sort of run around and jump and have to activate things in this sort of mysterious disabled world. And you're sort of having to restore the colour and the light back to this world, as you can see based on sort of the video here. It's £2 on Steam or $3. So, and again, great reviews, 96% recently, 95 overall. It's a very casual sort of puzzle game into to most part. People enjoy playing it. You're speed running through it. You can play at your own pace. There's no sort of pressure. There's no enemies or way of dying. It's non-violent. You know, it's kind of a, like I said, kind of like a walking simulator, but not a walking simulator because you're running around in it. And I realised I haven't changed the text. Well, I'll let it change whilst I contemplate my review score. Now, if I'm honest, these games haven't necessarily added much in terms of the bundle for me. I mean, they're good games, but if you're looking at price, then it hasn't added that much to it in terms of money. But it's not always about the money. These games are, again, well received, and I think I own Refunked already, maybe not Bit Blaster, but definitely a nice little extension of the bundle. So, what do I think? Well, it is overwhelmingly positive, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. The games are good. I'm not going to lie; they are extremely well received games. It's definitely not a perfect bundle. I think there's something that they could do more, sort of branched out into more stuff. But I'm fair. To be fair with it, I will give it a good 9. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. You know, it's a strong bundle. It's got a lot of different kinds of games: platformers, RPGs, hacking games, spaceship games, adventure games. You know, Deadbolt, which I am going to try and play at some point. And thank you to whoever it was that reminded me that it's Gunpoint that I was comparing it to last week. Important to mention that. But in general, I think it's a good bundle. So for now, you guys have got basically 14 days of Best of 2016 and about a week left on the overwhelmingly positive bundle. And that pretty much is it for me, guys, in terms of my bundle review. As always, you know, stick your comments below about what you think about these bundles or my review or anything else that comes to mind. Subscribe for more videos from me in terms of bundle reviews and some gameplay stuff. I forgot to mention it last week and in my Humble Monthly. To be honest, I've forgotten to mention it in quite a few videos. Now I'm on Discord. There should be a little link in the description box below. I say now I'm on Discord. I've been on Discord for like the last year and just haven't promoted it in any way or shape or form. You know, anyone and everyone is welcome. Just be nice, otherwise I will make sure you can't post there. In general, that's pretty much it, I think. Yes, if you did watch last week's video and did push the like button, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the competition had to be cancelled due to the fact that there was kind of a fire accident. Okay, look, the Cosmo hats were evil. I had to destroy them. I'm sorry. I just got a bit trigger happy with the flamethrower and burnt the lot of them. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm the screams. Oh, they just screamed. Look, just like this video if just to offer some emotional support. And I've been Cosmo the Coder. Thank you for watching, guys. And as always, happy gaming. Oh my God. Oh.